Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Let's skip this and the next video I will talk more than I will draw. So this might be a little bit boring for you, but it's something that is, in my opinion, quite important. In this video, I'm gonna talk about visual library and reference gathering. For example, if I ask you to draw an apple, probably you will use your imagination in order to get the image of the apple. And I'm not saying that you are not able to do this, but our brain usually tricks us to have these images in our mind. Our brain are multi stimuli. So actually, when you think of an apple, you also are using the concept what is an apple. For example, is something that is spheric with a red color and a specular light. You are also remembering the taste, the smell, the feeling of the apples, and this is a good thing. But if I ask you to only use the images of apples, so just forget the taste, the smell, actually try to use only the image and the concept of the apple. So unless you have a photographic memory or you saw an apple today, the chance that this image is very faithful. It's quite low. Let's do an exercise. Imagine an apple. Now imagine an apple upside down. Imagine an apple in the outer space. Imagine an apple that is yellow. Imagine an apple that is green. Imagine an apple that is upside down in the space with a laser cannon. This exercise humbles us in order to understand that know what something is, it's not the same thing that we know all the possible angles, adjectives, adverbs this subject might have. For example, we might push this further and I will ask you to imagine a dragon. Well, not a regular dragon that we used to think that is kind of medieval one. Actually, more a Eastern dragon, like a Chinese dragon. We know that dragons, except the Komodo, does not exist. It's a mixture of creatures. So, if for something that exists like an apple, might be hard to place however you want in a space or in a context with adjectives that you want in your imagination. Those subjects that are fantasy that does not exist is even harder. So having as much images, as much perspectives of subjects, more and more confidently we are able to transmit, to transform objects in a certain space and try to translate it into our canvas. As I already said, I really like to watch videos about digital painting, tutorials, discussions, talks, device tips, process, speed painting, time lapse, and etc. It's really cool. And these masters, like these people that have 10 plus years doing something. You know what is funny? These people likes to challenge you. So usually when they are tutoring, teaching, they ask you to make things that you are not comfortable with. So they give you an exercise, drawing of art, and to give them back. When you hand them back and they ask you for the reference, if you do not have them in hands, they will make you lick the food and punch you in the face. Because for these people, reference gathering is the most important part pre-drawing. So before the art gathering reference, for them, it's the most important thing. Even if it is a good drawing, this is not the point. The point is to build your visual library. So unless you are, for example, copying what you are seeing, for example, in the extreme opposite, you are just in your room trying to draw something that does not even exist. If you do not have good reference, they will punch you. Even if you have, for example, you will hand them reference and they ask you how long, how much time you spend searching and gathering for this reference. If you dare to say that it was something short, they will kick you in the stomach anyways, because the goal of reference is not just being a reference, it's to build a visual library and you understand more of the subject and play with it, do whatever you want in your mind, and this is still being something reliable. They recommend you to spend time gathering good reference. And what is the difference between good reference and bad reference? Like, how can you gather this reference? Well, I am pragmatic, so personally I subdivided the reference gathering in order to maximize this stuff, and I think it is a pretty good thing. So I'm gonna show you what I think behind the reference gathering. Alright, so I have right here my Google images of wooden chest. I will ask you to make an exercise, right? Pick any subject. In this case, I'm just using the wooden chest, and pick 5 images that you like. For example, I like this one, I like this one, this one, this one, and this one. Okay, so these 5, alright? I like these 5 images. So I have software here for reference called Beeref right here. So this is a really good and simple software for reference. You just copy the image and paste right here, and you can even build mood board with it. But not for now, we are just trying to make the reference, right? So I will copy each image right here and I will paste right there. So I have these 5 references. Now I will use the process I use to gather the reference. So I divided reference gathering into 5 sections. So the first one is for the values. I will search for images that I liked how the values, so how the shadows and the lights behaves in a certain image. My second section is the silhouette. So I will search for the reference where I have a really good view of the subject and their shapes, their forms, and what is readable from my perspective. The third section is the color. So I'll pick images. So ideally, the reference is something with color that is totally different from what I expected in the first thought. Fourth image is about composition. So if this subject in a background or in a foreground, in the middle ground, and how it is displayed with other things, so with the background or with other subjects. Last but not least, the style. In our case, we are totally able to search for pixel art of our subjects, but I do recommend to gather a lot of reference from different styles. Actually, I do not recommend you to get only one image from each section. Actually, I ask you for at least 3, but sometimes we do not have time enough. So this is the 5 sections, and I will try to search for reference in this each thing. Okay, so even though you might not like this right here, do you agree? I have way more diversity in my subject in a way that now I am able to compose more scenes with more possibilities of chess than this one. I liked this. Really liked this chess right here. So maybe I would preserve this image right here. But with this, probably would be way more comfortable and to check upon this one than this one, right? As my conclusion, first build visual libraries of the subjects you want to draw. Secondly, I recommend to use the BREF to have a mood board and build a reference board. Third, do not rush your search for reference. Take your time, check open different sources, not only Google Images. Use Pinterest, use any other gallery art or stock images and etc. Do not rush this part, check different sources. And as I said in my case, I divided this reference gathering into these 5 sections in order to get me out of this comfort zone and have these possibilities expanded. So I would recommend you to search for reference where the values are cool, where the silhouettes are readable with a different colors and a different composition and in different styles. Alright? So thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.